Noma, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. It's been a while since I've hopped on and done one of these. And to make it even more fun, every once in a while I just talk to someone that I've never spoke with before, which just makes it more fun. We get to kind of naturally learn more about each other.
hmm
But what you up to today?
Nothing. I just I did nothing. I'm going to do my laundry after this, but I had a wash day for my hair, so that took like 2 hours. So
Yeah, yeah. Can't relate. Can't relate at all there. Do you do nothing days very much?
um kinda. So I work at a nursing home, so I have like 4 days in a week where I go to work and I'm off for like 2 days. And so like I just like do nothing because I'm like so tired. I'm like catching up on TV shows and just like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you full time at the nursing home?
no part time.
Part time. I guess. Are you still in college,
Yeah,
or are you? Okay? You're still in college,
yeah.
and based on what I've seen, you're just north of me at Northern Iowa and Cedar Falls.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And I also looked into your stuff a little bit, and you're not from Iowa.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. I'm
So,
curious.
okay, so I'm an international student, so I'm from Nigeria originally. I moved here like it's gonna be 3 years in December. So, yeah, I just came here for college. I came to get the American dream.
Yeah.
It's not like the TV. It's not like what
Yeah.
they show you in the movies. Cause what?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you particularly mean by that? Like, what were some expectations you had that fell through, and maybe what are some things that are good that you didn't expect?
Okay, so I think most of the movies that most of the movies I watched, it was like very much big city type college, big city like in New York, and there's so many people. And but like this is Iowa. Iowa is like the Midwest. Like even people in America don't even know about Iowa, and it's kind of crazy. So like it was just like the exact opposite. It wasn't like anything was bad or anything was good. It was just like okay, this is not what I expected, But
Right, right. And what I'm always curious about is you're in Nigeria, you're wanting to go to particularly the U.S. How does that process work? How do you land on Northern Iowa? How did that happen?
okay, so my uncle went to Iowa State University, and he was like, I think you should try like schools in Iowa because like the class sizes are very small, so like the culture shock wouldn't be as like too like intense like unlike if you went to like a big city and went to like school there, which culture shock was still the same, but I get what he was saying. Like I would rather think like 50 people in my class and like trying to understand what everybody's saying that and like 200 people in my class and trying to understand what everybody's saying. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the experience was kind of iffy. I had like kind of like one of the weirdest experience to like get to my visa to come to the United States because I got like my admission right before COVID. So I had to defer my admission, and then they kept on like moving the visa appointment, and then I got denied the first time, and then the second time I got it, and it was just so it was so much, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And how big of an area did you live when you were back in Nigeria? Was it rural or was it pretty populated?
I was It was big. It's not. I didn't live like in a small town. Like it's small in Nigeria, but like it is not like
Yeah.
it felt like I lived in the city. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, over the last few days, I've lived in the same spot all my life, so my perspective's a little off, but I've just been like scrolling over kind of the globe and just seeing how many cities there are and where they're at and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Where exactly were you like city-wise? What would it be called?
It was called Enugu, so that's my state.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have cities, but I live
Well,
like I live like right in the middle.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's super sick. What'd you kind of come for to study?
So I am a biomedical science major with like, and I'm also double majoring in public health as well. yeah, so I hope to like work in the healthcare field in the future. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And wrapped up in all of this, obviously kind of how I found you is you've had a social media element to your life for a little while now. I've seen most of your posts that have done really well. I mean, where 3 years ago, I mean, you've been on it for a while. So how'd you kind of get started with, something we can relate on is social media,
Yeah.
and what kind of role does it play in your life?
Well, I would say like social media is kind of like it's not like my outlet because like I'm very like my major is very like serious. It's very like studying all the time and like
Yeah.
I've always been like right from when I was a kid, like I've always been like an entertainer. Like it's just something that everybody that grew up with me knows, like I would talk to the mirror like, hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And like, in the future I hope to be like some sort of celebrity. Like my dad even like he still calls me his celebrity even now. And so like I just knew I wanted to do something like that, but I just didn't know like how to do anything like that. Like I didn't know where to start or where to start. But then the year before I left, or the year I left, it was one of the I think it was
2019-ish.
No, yeah, maybe I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe
Somewhere around then, yeah.
yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Or like 2021, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went for this show that they had in my city, which was like the second time they were having it. And so like it wasn't like it was still new, so a lot of people came and they had the whole 360 spinning thingy like that. And my sister was like, go up there and let me make a video. Pause. My sister is my manager. She is my biggest fan and I love her so much. She's the one that like wanted me to like really, she was the one that pushed me really into social media because she's like, you need to get a paper, you need to get paid, that. And so she was like, I'll make a video of you doing this spinning thing. So I went and I did it, and she made a video while the record thing was going around. So she was like, hey, post this video on your Instagram while you wait for the official one to come out. And I was like, I don't really want to post this video because like that's lame. Like I don't want to do that. Yeah. And I posted it. I woke up the next morning. I seen 5,000 people follow me. I was like, did I post something that I was not supposed? Did I post an inappropriate content? Because like I make this make sense. And I scrolled down, I opened it, and it was because of the video. I slept. The next morning, my cousin woke me up. He's like, you're famous. I said, what do you mean? He says, go check your Instagram. In that 1 week span where I posted that video, I had like 60,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah. And I know. And I was just like, maybe like this is what God wanted me to do. Like this was his sign to like get into that. So, I just said, might as well just get into it. And I just kind of rode on that, like on that wave.
Yeah.
So. Like,
so you posting that was like your very first kind of out there post. Okay, so it's like your very, very first one.
Yeah.
That is so rare. Yeah. I looked at the numbers. I think it's at like 120 million, maybe more. Maybe that's undershooting it. We're talking like it's not your video with 200,000 or 300,000. Like, no, it's not a million. It's 120 million. It's one of those like ultra viral ones for sure. Yeah. I feel like 3 years ago was the prime time of like, I was seeing a lot of those simulators or whatever, those 3D things.
Yeah.
Like if you got your hands on one of those, they were getting you some clicks on your stuff for sure. Yeah. Did you do a follow-up with the actual result?
Yes, I did. Yeah. And a lot of people were not.
Yeah.
They were like, that is so underwhelming. I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, that was sick. So you got that kind of post, and then where'd you kind of go from there? Like, what'd you try to hit? Were you scared to post after that because you were scared to post again and try to live up to the numbers that you just got, or what?
That, and I also was like I don't know how to be like a public figure per se. Because like back then, back in my back home, at that time there was a rise of like young influencers then. And I was like, like I want to be like these people, but like I don't know how to do, like I don't go out, like I don't know what to do to make my life interesting. So my sister was like, this is your chance to open a YouTube channel and then title that YouTube channel how I got 20 million views on my Instagram. Yeah. And I was like, let me start from there. And I did the video, I got my visa, and then I made a story time of like my experience getting my visa, and then I made like follow me to the US kind of video, and it just kind of like rolled from there. And then I came here and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. And like my sister would be like, hey, make this one. And every time she tried, like anytime she's like, do this video, it always goes viral, even though I don't want to do it. Like on my TikTok too, she's like, hey, use this sound. And I'm like, okay. And then I wake up and it's like 32K. I'm like,
yeah, she's a mega mind. Does she post anything on her own, or is it just you?
She does not per se. She has a business, like a hair business, so that's what she does. But like not like a personal, just for her business.
Right. So she knows how to run socials for herself and her business, though. You know what I'm saying? Good. Yeah. Dang. So you've been making more primarily just like products content recently. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah.
Have you seen any kind of like, what have you been seeing with that? Has that just been stuff that you enjoy making, or what's the play there?
Okay. Yes. That's a very good question. Like, I think like it's hard for me right now to just kind of find motivation, because when I first started doing it, I was doing it because it was for fun. But then, like I figured like I could make a little bit out of this. And for you to do that, you need to get like your name out there. And one of the only ways to do it is like partnership with brands, so like I would try to like do stuff for brands, but then they don't get much traction like they do when I just film like for myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like in my head, I'm like, I don't have anything to film, but I have these products for these brands, so I'm going to film it anyways. But then it just doesn't get that much like attention, and like I'm a victim of doom scrolling. I try to watch other people do stuff so I can get inspiration, but at the end it just like kills me. Like I'm like, I would never be as good as this person. Like, what am I doing? Let me just end this right here.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think one of the biggest drawbacks of the online stuff is you can easily find someone doing a lot better than you. I don't care how much you're posting, how hard you're going at it, and how creative you're getting. There's always someone doing it better than you, and you can see that every time. So, personally, to combat that, this is the weirdest thing ever. So I'm on socials every day, right? Yeah. Posting and responding and whatever. But after I get done posting, I respond to people for 10 or 20 minutes, and then I delete all the apps. I don't put restrictions. I just straight up delete them every day. And then the next morning when I've made my post again, I'll reinstall them, and it takes like 5 minutes to install them all, and then post, respond to people, and then delete it again.
That is crazy.
There's not a great way to block them off your phone. I don't feel like the restricting doesn't do a good enough job. And as creators, I think we should be creating rather than consuming.
Yeah.
Consume a little bit. Like, don't blow people off, but relatively should be consuming or creating. So that's been kind of a weird thing, but that's helped me out a lot, especially with the doom scrolling, because truly you can kill your motivation just seeing some few people in a row doing really cool stuff. You're like, oh, I need to stop. I ain't seeing anything. I ain't doing anything cool. So that's definitely that is something that we need to work our way around, huh? But what's your connection to Minneapolis? You say you're up there sometimes.
Yeah, I have a family up in Minneapolis, so like very like extended family. So I try to go there every break I can. Only this summer, but maybe a week and before the summer ends, I'm gonna go back up there. because I really love it there. I wish I had lived there, but
Yeah.
I digress.
Right. So you just stay in there, and are you kind of like living there? Like, do you stay there for a while when you go there, or is it all just visiting?
Yeah, no, I stayed there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd really love to talk about kind of, man, I've stayed within an hour or two. Obviously, I've traveled, but I've lived within an hour or two of where I've lived all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about moving to another place, it feels like I'm just gonna totally discard my progress I've made so far with everything I've done. You know, losing out on connections. What made you take the jump, and has it been worth it for you? Has it not been worth it? Like, what made you take the jump to move, not just to another, whatever you call it, section of where you're from, but totally just moving across the world? What has that done for you?
Well, I would say like I've always felt like I love my country and I'm very proud of where I'm from. I've always just thought that like, you know how people in the movies are like, I need to move to New York City. I feel like the great city's calling my name. That's how it has always been for me. Like, you know, so like I've just like when that opportunity came, it was very scary. Actually, I was chilling for the first 3 months, 4 months, I was good. After the first 6 months, that's when it hit me really hard. But like, I think I've like come to the realization that, I've made new friends, which I'm very grateful for those friends because those friends are the ones that actually support me right here. Like they see what I'm doing and they're like, I'm commenting on every video and I'm telling people I know you and I'm sharing your videos and I know that you have the potential to be somebody great and like I'm helping you to share that dream. So like sometimes obviously I miss back home and I miss like my friends back home, but like you never know until you explore. That's what I like to think. You're gonna lose connections where you're from, but like you're gonna build connection. And it's just like, and I feel like in the like social media business, it's all about networking. It's all about making like new connections. So like everywhere you go, like you make that connection because you never know who's going to like put you in your next gig. It's always like one place to the other. So I just feel like it has been like good in a sense and like bad in a sense because like I know back home, I know a lot of people that are also like influencers and content creators, which would have helped me because like I can create content with them. Here, most of my friends they don't like social media. Like I'm like, come, let's go make a video. They're like, girl, no, I'm not in your video. Like, move. Just like I'll help you take pictures, but like do not put me. And that's the kind of like that's the bad part, because like I kept searching. I'm like content creator Iowa, influencer Iowa. Like nobody's popping up, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like
they're rare. No, you're chilling. It's what we're here for. There's definitely people out there in Iowa, but definitely the 9 out of 10, you're not gonna be. People are not discrediting it, but they're definitely not. They're not gonna help out for sure. That's one of the things. I saw a reel. It said something along the lines of like, I moved. And this isn't your situation. I'm just curious your thoughts on this. They said like I moved across the world just to find out I'm still me. Like I'm still where I move. Did you leave as kind of a step forward, or did you leave almost as an escape from what you were doing? And I say that just because I think if I were to leave, it's almost the mindset of almost escape, which I'm like, that's why I'm hesitant of like, would this even be good? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I would say it's a little bit both, I think, because like in Nigeria, the culture is so much different. Back home, like it took a while for my parents to come into like, them accepting that I'm doing this free time, like, because they're like, you need to focus on your education. That is what you are here for. Don't do all this social media. It's not gonna pay you. But but now they're kind of like, okay, I see. I'm like, oh, look at what I got from this brand. They're like, oh, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing it. But so like the culture is different. So in a way, it was kind of like an escape for me, but also as like a moving step forward because I'm the majority of people that move here and say Americans just don't care. Like you could be walking on the street with a tripod in the center of the street. Yeah, people are gonna look at you, but they're not gonna say nothing. But back home, they'll be walking past and like, oh.
Really?
So, but here, like, you could be walking with a tripod in Walmart and they're just going to be like, everybody's going about their business. So for me, it was like, oh, that's good. Like, I don't want anybody, like, scrutinizing what I'm doing. So I felt like it's a bit of both for me.
Yeah. I've always felt I can speak in front of people or whatever, but like going in public and being around other people, I still feel that. So if it's less bad than somewhere else, I mean, I should be a little thankful then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like in Iowa, it's still the same because like when I go to like, I've been to Chicago and I had my camera out and I was taking, and it's even better there because like there's so many people doing it that nobody just cares. But in Iowa, like they would still give you like if you 102s, but like so. Yeah.
Where we're from, both they're bigger populated areas compared to some of Iowa, but still pretty small. I mean, what your place is like around 100,000 with Waterloo, and mine's 60,000. So it's definitely hard to just walk around and do that stuff. For sure. What's been your process connecting with brands? Have you been joining like influencer groups and then you get messages from them saying, hey, there's a big brand that wants to send stuff to influencers, or is it something different? Do they reach out to you directly?
I've had a couple reach out to me like from my Instagram. When I first started, most of them messaged me from my Instagram, and then like I joined like a campus trendsetter in her campus, which is kind of like a very big thing in the US and Canada. So you just join and they have like campaigns and you just apply, and if they pick you, you pick your pick. But like I have some other software that I just, like message, like sign up for it, and if, randomly I'll get a package in the mail and it's like, because they don't tell you gotta accept it, or, you just see the package in your mail. I'm like, oh, bet. So, but I've tried, I know a lot of people reach out to brand, like email them, but like I've never gotten lucky enough. Every time I email, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're full now, so try again later. And I'm like, no, I cannot take no for an answer. I'm not trying again. So, yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're doing a different style than what I've done. I've never really tried to. I've always done like more of a business route than I've done kind of an influencer, more disconnected route. Like I want to do this with all my time, kind of a thing. So I haven't gone for products like you've gone for. Is it something you just kind of get the product, or are you getting a percentage of sales with the code, or are you getting paid, or is it a little bit of mix of everything?
You can do a lot of like you can do a little bit of three, like you can get commission. I don't, only because like I'm not good at photography, if that makes sense. So like I tend to only do gifting partnership only because there's less like responsibilities, they just hope that you post for them. You could not if you wanted to, but like I use it as a way to like practice, like, oh, this is how I would if I got this type of product versus this is how I would if I got this type of product. So yeah.
Anytime there's money involved, you feel a sense of responsibility, and if you feel like you're underqualified, that's not a fun experience.
No, it's not. It's sometimes I make videos and I'm like, this is horrible. Like I wouldn't even make nobody post it, and I have to like spend like one day just like thinking like, what can I do? So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything that I've gotten, I've done very minimal reaching out, especially about like products and campaigns, but I've gotten come to by a middleman marketing agency. So the big brand contacts this middleman, and then they contact with the influencers and whatever. And I landed a few of those and was able to get like a flat pricing thing, which is nice because you don't have to show any results and you still get paid. You know what I mean? Because all that stuff is hard. We're still figuring out, and brands are still figuring out. But whenever you incorporate a brand and what they want to say in your videos, I mean, you can hear it, and people just scroll. So that's been a weird one for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's why
yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. I just say it's why like I'm very like particular about like the products that I apply for. I only apply for products that I use. Like, so like if I wanted to do like lifestyle, like I would apply for like a bedding because I use my bed sheet and I can tell the difference when I buy it versus, like it's more like, oh, they give me like a note to say, but then I'm like, I'm going to use this for like 1 week straight and see if you're really talking about what you're talking. Because if you're not, I'm not going to say nothing. But if you are, I'm going to be like, oh, like, this is really nice.
Right. How's the community of kind of content creators at Northern Iowa?
I don't
Few
know.
and far between.
I'd like to say it's non-existent if you ask me. I know I found a girl on TikTok that goes to my school. She's really big on TikTok. She has beautiful videos, and I've tried to reach out, but like I don't have as much following on TikTok as I do. So like it just goes to like you have 3 messages until like you're blocked, and I've sent her 2 and she hasn't gotten back. I'm like, well, I guess not.
So. Same thing. There's a few names. But they're definitely doing their own thing and doesn't really relate to what I do. But there's been a lot of people that have popped up in Des Moines. Des Moines' got a great community, which is a little bit south of me. So there's people, they're just hard to come by. They really are. But what else have you been doing to stay involved, outside of classes at school to keep you engaged?
Well, I am a dancer. Like I do that whenever I'm stressed. I just go dance. But like I joined the rugby team at UNI because like I was like, I think I can do it, and so I joined the rugby team like officially last semester. So that's what I'm doing. I love it. It's great. I love my teammates. They're beautiful souls. I love my coaches.
Yeah. Yo, how does that? Okay, so is it an official sport or is it like a club that's invite only?
No, so it's not an official sport because how the softball wasn't under the NCCA before and it was just like.
Yeah, some of those sports go through the cracks.
Yeah, so that's how rugby is right now. There's so much like they have their own division. Like they have the whole American college rugby associations and stuff like that. So it's a club. You can join if you want to. Like you can just walk up.
Anyone.
Yeah, you can just walk up there and be like, "Hey, I want to join." But most people like come up and then they don't come back again because like it's a pretty intense sport. Like you have to be lifting. You have to be like it's dedication, and if you're not into it, then you're not into it.
Yeah. If you ain't in shape, you're going to get injured playing that, I would assume. Yeah. How far do you travel for that? Like, how far is your furthest game away?
So, DC.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't go because I was smart. I didn't go for that one. I opted out. But I went to Minnesota to play we played against Minnesota, Iowa State.
Wow. Nice.
But yeah, I know they're really good. Like I know the team, like right before I joined them, they were really good. I know like we're undefeated at home. So like they're really good. They play like we're technically D1 in the like rugby division. I think they play like Ivy League schools as well too. So I know they travel far. I haven't, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. For sure. What's kind of up next for you? What do you got looking forward to? Like, are you just kind of looking forward and getting into a full-time role, or are you looking for anything fun on the side, or what's on your mind? Where are your ambitions at?
Well, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this full time. Only because I cannot do any. That's also bad. I just have too many like interests to do one thing full time. So it's always going to be part time. Maybe in the future, like I would make enough money doing it that I'm able to like hire people that I can be like, oh, I'll make the videos, you just edit them and put them on my social media. Because I don't know how to edit to save my life. It is the hardest thing ever. But after I graduate in May, by God's grace, so after that, I hope to go to grad school. I want to move to Chicago because I really love Chicago. It has my heart. So hopefully I'm going to move to Chicago. If I do take a gap year, then I will take content full time during the gap year that I have. So that's kind of my.
No, Chicago's a beautiful city, and you'll get kind of more of that perspective. Yeah, you just keep documenting your life. It's kind of what it sounds like you'll be doing, and working into grad school here soon, and that's awesome. Yeah.
What do you have like? Oh, I know this is your podcast, but like I don't know how you started your whole social media journey. But I just want to like you can give me like
no worries. Yeah, it's just a conversation. You're welcome to ask whatever. Yeah, I started primarily my brother started playing video games like on a console, and then he would take cool clips that he did. Like if he did something cool, he would take it and edit it. And then he made like edits to them and posted them, and then people connected with him. So I saw that and I'm like, that's a really cool concept. Now I was never able to do that the exact same way he did it because he was doing that and using the system. And of course we couldn't afford to, or I couldn't afford to because I was really young. And so I just used our computer and kind of did the same thing. And that's kind of how I learned to edit. And then from there, I made videos like on TikTok and did a little bit of that, made tech videos. I was very kind of video game centric. And then eventually I'm like, shoot, I want to take a stab at business. So as everyone does, they open a clothing brand. That's what I did as well. And then when I did that, I bought a camera and then was able to learn photography. And then I took photos for like local people and they wanted to pay me to do that stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such an efficient way to make money. Like people value me and I can do that. So I did that. And then so I learned editing and photo and dipped into content creation. And I've just kept going from there. I've really embodied how important it is to just share your personal experiences. You have a really cool out there thing to share with like moving across the world and going to college and balancing all these different interests. But equally, I'd say even kind of my more boring and mundane perspective can still be really cool. Just the way I look at things, and I think everyone's is. So I've just been making content around myself for a while now. And then with that, I've kind of started a business around it too, providing content for other businesses and brands around Cedar Falls as well as Ames. And I do that full time. And that's what I'll continue pushing on. But yeah, content's been in my life since I probably made my first video when I was 12, 11, 10. And so it's been a part of me for a while.
That's good. No, you make the Midwest look like you make Iowa look so good. Like when I first saw your video, I saw it on Andre's story, I think. Okay. Yeah, and I was like, no way, wait, is that what I think it is? And I clicked it, and I was like, that is so cool. And I, went to your space, did a little stalking, looked through. I was like, okay, I see you, and I was like, I'm just follow you right now.
Yeah, find it through again.
Andre, I think that's his name. He
doesn't. He lives in California.
No, I think he does photography for you and I.
Okay, got you. That makes sense. Yeah. No, it's crazy. it's crazy how one video can connect you to new people. You know, now I know another face in that area.
Yeah.
And if you go to Chicago, I'll know another person in Chicago. I mean, it's super fun connecting with people.
Yeah.
No, I always value, I think it's super cool just documenting where you're at. Obviously, the Midwest isn't the coolest location ever, but when you kind of take a deep breath and look at little details, there's beauty to find everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I think most of our joy should be what we occupy our day with rather than where we're located.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as I have a day doing things that I love, I can go out and what I mean by that is it's cheaper here. So if it takes my little cheaper in a more boring place, but I still get to do what I want, I think that's sick. I think that's dope. So that's kind of my aspect there. And where I really got that idea from, not to ramble, but I'm rambling, is huge photography stint for me. When I first got a camera, I watched YouTube videos of other photographers, and one of them, his name is Valandis, and he grew up in Detroit, and more he refers to them as like the hood areas of Detroit, so kind of the more impoverished areas. And when he first started photography, he would travel into the beautiful part of Detroit with all the big buildings and take the photos, and he'd post them, and they'd do all right, good photos. But what really got him traction is no one's taking photos where he was living. So he'd take photos of kind of who he was hanging out with and kind of the activity that was going on around there. And that's what got him traction, is because he just documented what he was around and what he knew, and that was super interesting to people. And so that's kind of what really fueled me to like not care about how many views I'll get, how many views I won't get. It's just like documenting what's around me, and I know that's unique because I know I'm the only one that does me. No one else does me like I do. Same with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's super cool. That you also have the confidence to put out stuff. I think it's a fun way to connect with people. For sure.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. What you got going tonight? You said you got laundry?
Huh?
You got laundry tonight? What you got going tonight?
That's all. I just started this show on Amazon Prime. It's called My Lady Jane. It's very like quirky. Like it's supposed to be stated like in the old England, but then they have like very like cool like narrating of like using like modern day terms in the old. It's like very funny. So I'm just gonna do my laundry and then sit and watch TV.
Yeah, awesome. Ride it out. Well, dude, it's been awesome meeting you and catching up with you.
You too.
Always let me know if you need anything or you're in town or whatever. I really appreciate you coming on. Yeah.
Thank you. You too. It was very nice to meet you.
Yeah, we'll catch you soon. All right.
Okay. Have a good night.
You as well. Enjoy your show.